So now I'm gonna go over lab 4, which is for week 5, and I'm just gonna go over all the questions, and I'm gonna show you how to do those questions. Okay, so number 1, starting with number 1, we have a question where they give me the function of the time to travel 507 miles with a speed r, and here they give me the 39 miles per hour is the speed, and you need to find the time to travel that. So what you need to do is just replace 39 is the r, the speed, so plug that 39 here in the function, in the formula, and technically you divide 507 divided by 39, and whatever you get, that's the answer. That's how many hours you're going to travel that 507 with 39 miles per hour. So I get 13, and that's going to be the answer, 13. And I'm going to plug all my answers so you can see how you can get easy hundreds, okay? 13. So you do the same. Use your questions, do the same, use your numbers, and do the same. Okay? The next one, number 2, it's another question which you are familiar with. So you have to find the domain of the function. And finding the domain for fraction, when you find domain, you need to work with the denominator. So technically you're solving x plus 6 equals 0, or not equal technically. We subtract 6 in both sides to solve that equation, and that gives you x is not equals negative 6, and the domain is going to look like parenthesis negative infinity negative 6 union negative 6 to infinity, and that's going to be the answer. You're going to plug it in, and I'm just going to put the answer here. So we have parenthesis negative, I need it small so I can get the symbols, infinity, comma, negative 6, union is in sets, if you don't remember, union, and then negative 6, comma, infinity symbol. Okay, and that's what you're doing. That's all for number 2. Okay, the next one is number 3, where you have to do synthetic division. Now it says long division, but I told you long division and synthetic division are going to give you the same answer. And long division is much longer, so we're not using log, we're using synthetic, where you set up the table and calculate it. So this is what you do. You're going to start from the top. So the highest exponent is x4. So that's what you write, and you're going to write x4, x3, x2, x a number, and you're going to get the coefficients from that polynomial. So what you have in front of x4, there is no number, so I put 1 x4. In front of x3 it's 8. In front of x squared is negative 4. In front of x is 1, and the number is negative 1. Of course, you're going to have different numbers. So you get your numbers from the top, and then in front of the table, you're going to get a number you're going to use in the calculation, and that number comes from the bottom. If it's x minus 1 is mine, you're going to put opposite of minus 1, so it's going to be positive 1 in front, and then you're going to calculate the table. How you do that? The first number, you drop it down 1, then you multiply the 1 down by the 1 in front and write it here, and then you're going to add with 8. 1 plus 8 is 9, and then you repeat that till you finish the table. So multiply 9 times 1 is 9, minus 4 is 5, 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 give me 6, 6 times 1 is 6, minus 1 is 5. So in this table, the last number is always the remainder, and all these numbers in front are going to give me the quotient. Now, for the quotient, you need to bring down the x's. So x to the 4 here in the top become x3. You always subtract one number. So if it's x to the 10, down here you're going to bring x to the 9. Always one number smaller. So, and I explained that in class why it's like that, but that's the rule. So x3 become x squared, become x, and then now x disappear, become a number. And then from there, you're just going to connect those with pluses because the numbers 9, 5, and 6, they're positive numbers. So that's a connection between the terms. And then this is what you need to be careful. You need to read how they want the answer. The answer is quotient plus remainder over divisor. So that's exactly how you need to put your answer. So the quotient is everything here. So I'm going to copy this. Plus, remainder is 5 over the divisor is what you're dividing by. X minus 1 is the divisor. So that's exactly how you're going to leave the answer. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to make this small so I can see when I put the square and stuff. See, in the end, you have to use the fraction pretty much and the exponent. For exponent, you're using this one. Okay. And for the fraction, you're using the one above. Okay, I'm going to delete that. I don't need that. Okay, and then let's do it. Okay, so we're gonna start plugging in the answers. So what I have is 1x3, you can just put x3. And then you're gonna continue plus 9x squared plus 5x plus 6. This is the quotient. Now, when you put your answer, make sure you check it and look exactly like the numbers you get and the x's you get on your paper. It's very important. Every term have to have number. I mean, if it's 1, you don't put it, but number x with exponent. Sometimes it's easy to forget the x, or sometimes it's easy to forget the exponent. So be careful when you plug the answer, have to look exactly like the paper, the numbers you get on the paper. So we have x3 plus 9x squared plus 5x plus 6. Always make sure you double check that. And then they want the answer like remainder over divisor. So I have plus, remainder is 5 over divisor is x minus 1. And that's exactly how you're going to put your answer there. And I'm going to submit it so you can see it's correct answer. Okay, so that's all what you're doing. Now the next one is number 4, and in number 4 you have to you have given polynomial p of x, and you have to find p of negative 2. So what you're doing, you're just gonna plug it in negative 2 for each x in that polynomial. So you're gonna have 6. Make sure you put negative 2 in parentheses, cube, plus 3 negative 2 square. I'm going to continue down here, plus negative 2 minus 1. So don't worry about this p of negative 2 in the end. This doesn't matter. They just tell you what to do and they repeat that here. So in this polynomial, which is 6x3 plus 3x squared plus x minus 1, you replace all the x's with negative 2 because that's the number given. You're going to have different number to plug it in. And then you can use your calculator. I'm doing it in my calculator just exactly like that. Just plug it in. For the negative 2, make sure you have the little negative on your calculator. I'm just plugging in that right now. And I get negative 39. So let's see if that's correct. Negative 39. And let's see. Okay. So that's the right answer. Now we're going to the next one. Oh, sorry, I put it in the wrong place, but that was negative 39. And for this question, actually, both answers are going to be the same because remember last time we talked about, so for number 4, when you plug it in negative 2, let me explain this one more time. Remember there was a question on the handout where the remainder, so this is, they're asking you to find the remainder for the second one. and they're also asking you to plug it in -2. So when you plug -2, or when you do synthetic division, the remainder are gonna, these two answers are always gonna be the same. So whatever you get when you plug -2, if it's right, the other one is gonna be also the same answer. If it's wrong, then do the synthetic division and get only the remainder, okay? So for this number 4, you're gonna get the same answers, but you have different numbers to plug it in. Okay, the next one is number 5. So here they're asking me to check if x minus 2 is a factor of x cubed minus x squared plus 2x minus 8. So what you need to do here, you can do it two ways. You can do the synthetic division and check if the remainder is 0, because factor means when you divide, you get remainder 0. And that's one way. You can do synthetic division and check if the remainder is 0. Or the second way is if you take opposite of the number next to x, which is going to be positive 2, and replace x with positive 2. Plug it in. So I'm going to plug it in. So I'm going to have 2 cubed minus 2 squared plus 2 times 2 minus 8. So if you plug that in the calculator, it's going to give you remainder 0. And if the remainder is 0, then x minus 2 is a factor, so I'm going to pick the true is the right answer for this one. So make sure you double check. So plug it in opposite of the number next to x. And if you get 0, it's true. If you don't get 0, it's false. Okay, so that was number 5. Now, the next one is number 6, where you have to do synthetic division again. And here we have to be careful again. We have to, let me move it a little up. For this one, for number 6, we have to read how they want the answer. So we're going to do the synthetic division, and the answer should be divisor times quotient plus remainder. So we have to use synthetic division. And doing that, you're going to start with the setting up the table. So start from the polynomial. The highest exponent is x3. So you're going to go x3, x2, x and number. And then you're going to get the numbers, the coefficients in front. So in front of x3 was 6, then -9, then -23, -12 is the last number. And then in front of the table, you're going to put a number you're going to use in the calculation, which is next to x. So I have x minus 3. So in front of the table, I'm going to put positive 3, opposite, change it. X minus 3 become plus 3. And then we're going to calculate the table. So how you do that? You bring down the first number, which is 6. And then you multiply 6 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 minus 9 is 9. Then you multiply 9 times 3 is 27. 27 minus 23 is 4. Then you multiply 4 times 3 is 12. 12 minus 12 is 0. So we get remainder 0 again, which we're going to use when you write the answer. And then you have to bring down the x's. So x3 become x squared. X squared become x, and x disappear, become a number. And then you're going to connect those with pluses because 9 and 4 are positive numbers. And all this here is going to be the quotient. So now, how they want the answer? They want it divisor, which is x minus 3 is the divisor in parentheses. Then I'm going to copy the quotient in parentheses, plus 0. Now, so this is what you do. You put x minus 3 in front of parentheses. Then you put the quotient in parentheses, plus 0. Now, if the remainder is 0, you don't need to put it. If it's something else, you're going to put plus that number. And then I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to just enter that exactly like that. So we have parentheses x minus 3, close it, then open again, and you do 6x squared. You need to get down from the square. Then you have plus 9x plus 4. Then you close the parentheses, and you don't put plus 0. And that should be my answer. Okay, there you go. That was the right answer. So that's how you do this one. You always have to read how they want the answer. Now, the next one is number 7. It's another synthetic division. And again, you have to see how they want that answer. It have to be like this: quotient plus remainder over the divisor. And using synthetic division always, doesn't matter what it says in the question, you always use synthetic division. So how you do that? Start with the top. We have x to the 4, so we're going to start writing it down. x4, x3, x2, x, and number. You always write this first before you look at the coefficients. And then I'm going to have number in front. So what is in front of x to the 4? In front of x4 is invisible 1. In front of x3 is 3. In front of x squared is -4. There is nothing in front, so that's why you put 1x. And the number is -1, and then you're going to do the calculation. Now, the number in front of the table is opposite of the number next to x, which is going to be -1 in this case. And then you're going to do the calculation. So bring down the 1 down here. The first number become, here you go. Bring it down is 1. Then you multiply 1 times -1 is -1. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 times -1 is -2. When you add with -4, it's going to be -6. -6 times -1 is +6. Add it with 1 is 7. 7 times -1 is -7. And -1 is going to be -8. So the remainder is -8, and now I have to bring down the x's to get the quotient. So this is the quotient, but I need to bring down the x's. So x4 become x3, always one number smaller. x3 become x squared. X squared become just x, and x disappear, become just the number 7. And then you connect the terms. So you have 1x3 plus, because 2 is positive, x squared, then minus 6x plus 7. So this minus takes the connection between the 2x squared and 6x. Okay? Then how they want the answer? We're gonna put it exactly like that. So we have 1x3. I can just put x. You can put 1x3, doesn't matter. Let me put 1. Doesn't matter if you have 1 or just x3. X with exponent 3. And then you have plus 2x squared minus 6x plus 7. And then you can do plus -8 over, or you can do -8 over x plus 1 is the divisor. Whatever you're dividing by, that's the divisor. So here you can put plus and put -8 in the top, or you can do -8, doesn't matter, because plus and minus give you negative. And that was my answer for number 7. The next one is number 8 and number 9. They are the same questions. So what you're doing here for number 8, they give you the zeros. They give you the given zeros, which are -4 and 8. And from the zeros, I'm going to get the factors. So from -4, if the 0 and -4 is the 0, the factor, you put x and you change it, +4. Okay, that's the factor. And then the other one from 8, when you put x, you change it to -8. So it's going to be x minus 8 is the factor. And those are the two factors. And when you multiply them, you're going to get the polynomial. Now, you don't need to multiply because weapon sign is going to take it like that. So it's going to be x plus 4. Make sure you put it in parentheses. And then the second set of parentheses, x minus 8. And that should be my answer. X plus 4, x minus 8. Just switch the sign for the numbers and put x next to those. Okay? So that's the right answer for 8. And I'm going to do 9 real quick the same way. So 9, we have 4. So the factor is going to be x minus 4, opposite of it. Then you have 0. X minus 0, x plus 0, doesn't matter, just x. And then the other one is going to be x, change negative to +4. And that's my answer. Just leave it like that. You don't have to FOIL is going to be okay. Okay, so that's also the answer for number 8 and number 9. Okay, then you go into next one is number 10. For number 10, you have to use the calculator, and for number 11, you need to use the calculator. So how you do that? Just plug it in exactly like that. So I'm going to show you calculator. So let me show you that. I'm going to use your calculator. I'm just going to explain how to do it. TI. So your calculator is TI 36X Pro. I'm going to get a picture of it and I'm going to explain what to plug it in. I'm sorry, I don't want to buy it. Let me do it like this so I can see. So on your calculator, I'm just going to show you what exactly you're going to enter. And then I'm going to do it in my calculator and you do the same, okay? So let me just write first. Okay, so hold on a second. Okay, so here I just wanted to show you this and then I want to write it down so I can see exactly what I need to enter. So using calculators, we have to enter 7 with exponent square root of 2. So this should go in the calculator and have to look like that. So now going to the calculator, and where's my calculator? I'm just going to open this one, doesn't matter. I'm going to show you what to plug it in, and then I'm going to do it and I'll put the answer. So here we have, you're going to press 7 first, and then you're going to do exponent. So you're going to do the x to the box, the one above x squared. And then you're going to, for square root, every time you want to put square root, you have to press second, and then x squared give you the square root. So if you press those two, second is the blue one, and x squared, when you press those two together, you're going to get the square root. Okay? So you're going to press 7, x with the box, and after that you're pressing second and x squared, the one below, and then press the number 2, and then enter. So when you do that, I'm going to do it right now with exponent square root of 2. When you do that, you're going to, I'm going to write it here so I can transfer it to my answer. So I get 15,000, and I'm going to put a lot of digits so you can see how you round, because I think it's required to round to 4 digits. And then I have 6, 7, 2, 8, 9, and then 0, 8, 7. So this is what I see in my calculator, all this number. Okay, 15.67289087. So after you get your number from the calculator, so again you're pressing 7, x with the box, second x squared, and then 2. These are my numbers. You have different numbers, but the same way. After you do that, after you enter all of this the way it is, here it says use 4 decimal places, right? So they want the answer with 4 decimal places. So what you need to do here is count 4 places. So after the decimal, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to look at the next digit, which is 9. So you're going to round up. You're going to add 1 to the 8. So it's 8 become the last 8 here. The last digit become 9. So because you're adding 1. So my answer should be 15.6729. Okay? That's how you do this one. So just use the calculator for that one. Okay, and that was the right answer. Now, the next one is the same way. You're going to use the calculator for number 11. And for number 11, what you need to do, they give you, this is just a function, evaluating function. We did that before. So what you do here, this is my function 3 to the negative x. So the first one, you're gonna just replace x with 0. So on your calculator, you're gonna put 3 with exponent. So for the exponent, you're gonna put x to the box, give you the exponent. So this is what you press on your calculator. And then you're gonna put negative, which is the little negative in the bottom of your calculator, and then 0. When you put that, you're gonna get 1. So the first answer is 1. And then the second one the same way. When you do the second one, you're gonna do the same way. You're gonna press 3 with exponent. For the exponent, you're gonna press x with the box, which is above x squared. And then you're gonna put negative 2. And when you press that, you're gonna get 1/9. So those are my answers. I'm gonna plug it in so I can see it right. 1 and 1/9, like that. And it should be the answer. There you go. Okay? So that's how you do this. Just use the calculator. So for 10 and 11, use the calculator. Now, number 12 have graphs. And how you do the graphs, you just, you need to pick the right one. So here we have an exponential function. And my function is 5 to the x. You're going to have different number to the x. Doesn't matter. So what's happened here, the graph of exponential function is increasing function, and the graph, if the base, which is the 5 in this case, if the base is bigger than 1, remember the function is a to the x, if the base a is greater than 1, doesn't matter which number bigger than 1, the graph of the function is going to look always like this. I'm going to show you the graph. Okay, this is how, I mean, it doesn't have these errors over here, but technically this is how the graph is going to be. And what you need to remember here, this is how you pick, because all of those graphs look the same. So what you need to remember is the graph is not going below, it's not going to cross the x-axis. So this is the x-axis. So the graph is never going to cross the x-axis. And this is the y-axis, you know that. And it's going to cross the y-axis always at 1. So this point here, trying to do this point, is 1. So always crossing the y-axis at 1, because any number with exponent 0 is 1. That's why. And you never cross the x-axis. So this line is going close to the x-axis, close, 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 but you never cross it down. You never cross down. So looking at my 4 graphs given, this is not the one, because this one is crossing the x-axis and going below. Now, which one of those it is? Which one is crossing the y-axis at 1, exactly at this point? Okay, looking at this, you're not crossing the y-axis, so it's not this one. Looking at this one, it's not crossing the y-axis also, so this is going to be my right answer, because if you zoom it, you're going to see you're crossing the x-axis exactly at 1. So that's how you pick the right graph, okay? And this is my answer. I'm sorry, here you have to be careful. The answer for this one is below, it's in the bottom, because the one I clicked was for the top graph. Okay, so that was right, and then you're going to next one. So the next few questions, they're word problem where you're going to use the formula from the formula sheet. I'm going to write it here. And these are the keywords you're going to look for. So number 13, we have investments. So what you have here, we have bank credit card charge interest of 22%. So the 22% is going to be the R, the rate, and you have to change it to decimal form. Compound monthly. So monthly is going to tell me which formula to use, the first one for compound. And also it's going to give me what is N. N is 12 because there are 12 months in 1 year. So the original charge for that card is going to be the principal, and the student want to pay that for 1 year. So that's the time of the pretty much the calculation. So T is going to be 1 year. And what you need to find how much the the student have to pay for that credit card. So the question is, what is going to be the amount? So I'm going to write the formula you're going to use from the formula sheet. The amount is going to be the principal, and then the formula is 1 plus r over n with exponent n t. So I'm plugging the numbers now. So I have principal is 15 hundredths. And then you have 1 plus, the rate is 22%. You need to change it to decimal. So 22 divided by 100 is 0.22, 0.22. Divided by n is 12 in this case. Close the parentheses, and then you're going to do exponent. So on your calculator, to get the exponent, you're going to press X with the box, give you the exponent, and in the exponent, you're going to put n, which is 12, times the time is 1 year. So this is what you need to press on your calculator and then press enter. So I'm going to plug it in. So I have 1500, which is 1,500 parentheses. 1 plus 0.22 divided by 12. Then close the parentheses, exponent X to the box. 12 times 1 is, so this is what I get. 1,865, and I recommend you do my questions and then you do your numbers. 0.394. Now, because I'm round to the nearest cent, I need to see what is the number after 9. After 9 is 4, which is small, so I'm just going to ignore that. And this is going to be my answer. So that's what I'm going to plug it in here. So my answer for number 13 is going to be 1,865.39. Okay? And that's good. Now, the next question we have is number 14. And number 14, it's another investment problem. And we have to find, I have to read it first, of course, to see which formula we're going to use. So we have investment of 2,000. So that's the principal. 7% rate is the R. Compound continuously. So for continuously, using the continuously formula, which is A equals principal with the E, with exponent RT. So this is the formula you're going to use. Principal, E with exponent RT. And what will the investment be? What in 18 years is your time? So plug it in the numbers in that formula. I'll have 2,000 is the principal. And then you're going to press E with exponent R is going to be 7%, is going to be 0.07 times 18 years. And this goes in the calculator. Now, this is, I showed you last time, but let me show you again how you do the E. So you're going to go to your calculator and you're going to press, let me show you calculator again. So for E, you're going to, E is right here. So this is the E. It's 2 steps below the second. You see E with the box. That's where you're going to enter. When you press that, it's going to give you A with exponent and then just plug it in. Okay? So let's go back here and I'm going to plug it in my calculator. So I have 2,000 and I recommend you do the same so you can check it out. So I have 2,000, then you press E and then you have 0.07 times 18 in the exponent. And I get, let me write it down. So my answer, I have 7050.842 is the next number. Because you're rounding, this is small, so we're just gonna forget it, and that's my answer. 7050.84. Okay, and That's the right answer. So going to the next one, number 15. So number 15, you're also going to use calculator to plug it in. And this is pretty much the same question we have in the handout. So I explained that last time in class. So what you need to do here, just replace the time with 16 hours. So in this formula, this is the formula you're going to use, and use your calculator to plug it in. And you replace this t here next to the 0.3. You're going to plug it in, replace it with 16. So we have negative 1000. And then you're going to press E again, negative 0.3 times 16. And then you're going to get down of the exponent, and you're going to press plus 1300. And then the number I got is 1291.770. Now, here they want it to the whole number, so this is where we're going to round it. The next number is 7, so I'm going to add 1 to the 1, so that becomes 2. So my answer is 1292. This is my final answer. I'm going to enter there. Okay? And that's how you do this. It's a word problem where you're going to use the given formula and just replace the number t with the given hours. And you have different function, you have different numbers, just do the same. Okay, that's the right answer. Now, the next few questions, I did this in class, actually 17, but number 16, it's exactly like number 17 where you have to do the circle I asked you to do. So on your formula sheet, you have, you should put something like, let me see. So I'm going to show you here in your formula sheet, and you have it printed out. But if you don't have it, go to week 4 and lesson 4. That's where you get the formula sheet. I'm sorry, week 5. Sorry, week 5. And you're going to get lesson 5. This is your, oh, you don't have it here. Okay. I have, everybody should have the formula sheet. I have it here. And this is what you need to do. You need to write this on your formula sheet so you can use it for the quizzes and tests. So in your formula sheet here, I want you to write this down. So I want you to do this, changing logarithm to exponent. Now, wherever you see logarithm, you're going to put the base, going to underline the base, then you're going to write whatever it's in the other side, b equals x. If you have given exponent, you're going to start with the base, then write this, and then write this. So we're changing exponent to logarithm, logarithm to exponent. So put this in your formula sheet, just switch it around, and I think everybody understood that last time. So just showing you what to put in your formula sheet. And here what you're going to do, we're going to do the same. We're going to do the circle. So we have given base 10. So you're going to write, you're going to change it. It's given exponent. So you're going to put logarithm. The base is 10. And then after that, you're going to write what is in the other side, which is 100,000. You don't put the comma actually. I just put it to see how many numbers, zeros I need to put. And then equals whatever is the number in the other side, which is 5. So this is going to be my answer. Now, how you enter that? When you go here, when you go to the answer box, you have to go to, in your math path, you have to go to functions, click at functions, and you're going to see log with the base. So the base is 10, and then you go to the parentheses, you put 100,000, and then equals 5. Okay, so that's the answer. And the same way you do this one, logarithm with base 3 of 1 over 81 is in the other side equals -4. I did that in class. This is the same way. So let me do it real quick so I can see. I'm going to go to functions. I'm going to click at the log with the base. And in the base, I'm going to put 1 over 4. And then in the parentheses, I'm going to put 64 is in the other side. And then equals -3. That's it. Now, the next one, we're changing it backwards. We have logarithm. You want to change it to exponent. So we're doing the same way. You're doing a circle. So we're doing 5 with exponent 1 equals 5. And I know 5 to the exponent 1 equals 5 is it's 5 equals 5, but you don't need to do it. You don't need to simplify. You just have to change it around. So I'm going to write 5 with exponent 1. Get down with the exponent equals 5. You have to write it like equation, exactly like that. Okay, the next one is the same way. The base is 6 with exponent -3. Get down equals 1 over 216, like that. So just switch it around. Okay. Now the next one is the one where you have to find the value of x so you can plug it on your calculator. So for this one, you're gonna plug this on your calculator to get x, to see what is equal to. So on your calculator, you're gonna raise the second. You're gonna go to the one below. So don't press second, just go below second. It says ln and log. So this is what you're gonna press on. So click on this 3 times. You're gonna click on this 3 times. If you click the first time, you're gonna see ln. If you press the second time, you're gonna see log. And if you press 3 times, you're gonna see log with the base. That's what you need. So when you press ln log 3 times, you're gonna see this log with the base. In the base, you're gonna put 2, and then over here, you're gonna scroll and put 4. So when you press that, it's gonna look exactly like that, log with base 2 or 4. When you press enter, the answer should be 2. Okay? So try that on your calculator. If you get 2, you got it right. So you're pressing log 3 times here. Okay? And then you put the numbers exactly the way they are. Okay, the next one is another one like that. So I'm going to enter it exactly like that. Log 3 times calculator. 130 in the bottom, 81, and you should get -4. Calculator again. Okay? And then the next 3 questions are solving the equation. So what you need to do, you need to make the same basis here. And the base in this side is 81. And the base in this side is 3. So now you're going to start with the bigger number, 81. And you're going to break it down to see how many times you multiply 3 to get 81. So 81 is 9 times 9, right? Or you can do 3 times 27, doesn't matter. Then you break down 9 is 3 times 3. And this 9 is 3 times 3. So to get 81, you multiply 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 4 times. So that means 81 is the same like 3 to the 4th power. So what I'm doing, I'm replacing the 81 with 3 to the 4. So it's going to look like this, 3 to the 4. And then I have exponent x plus 2 is in the exponent. Equals 3 with exponent 3x plus 1. Now, after you get the same basis, you have 3 with exponent equals 3 with exponent. You cross out the basis and you solve the exponent equals the exponent. So how you solve it? You solve 4 times, you do the parentheses here. 4 times x is 4x plus 4 times 2 is 8 equals 3x plus 1. And you're solving this equation. It's a linear equation. So you have to get x's in one side, the numbers in the other side. You know how to do that. So I'm going to subtract 3x minus 3x, this cancel. And also I'm going to move 8 over, so minus 8 and minus 8 in both sides. So what I get is 4x minus 3x is 1x equals 1 minus 8 is negative 7. So that's my answer. X equals negative 7. So that's the answer here, negative 7. So solve it exactly like that. Make the same basis. And then cross out the bases and solve the exponents equal to each other. Okay? So that's how you do 23. 24, you do the same way. You start with the given bases. So my bases are 3 and 9. So I'm going to take the bigger number again. We do the same. The bigger number is 9. And you're going to break it down. How many times? 3 times 3 is 9, right? So I'm going to replace 9 with 3 square. 3 square is 9, okay? It is a small number, so obviously you know that 3 square is 9, but if you're not sure, break it down like this, do the prime factorization. And then you replace 9 with 3 square, so you start with, the equation is 3 to the x minus 2 equals, now 9 is going to be 3 square, and also you have the exponent 2x there. Now we get the same basis, so we're going to cross the 3's in the basis. You solve x minus 2 equals this. So I'm going to write it x minus 2 equals, now here, because this is one term, you just multiply by 2, so it's going to be 4x. So x minus 2 equals 4x. How you solve that? Just subtract the x in the other side, and you get negative 2 equals 4x minus 1x is 3x. And then divide by the number in front of x to get 1x. Divide by 3. So that's your answer, negative 2/3. And you're going to leave it exactly like this. So the answer is negative 2/3. And that should be my right answer. Okay, you just solve it like that. And then you have one more equation, which is exactly like the same we just did. So I'm going to make it bigger so I can see. So here what you're doing, we have base 6 and a huge number there. So this is the base and this is the technically the base, right? So what you're going to do now, you're going to start breaking down the number 1296. It's a big number, so I'm just going to divide it by 6. You can use your calculator. Divide by 6. So it's going to be 6 times, when you divide by 6, it's going to be 216. And then you're going to continue divided by 6. So what I did, I'm breaking down the bigger number, which is 1296. I divided by 6 and I get 216. Because why divide by 6? Because the other base is 6. So I'm going to break this down to 666 how many times? Technically. Then I'm going to continue 216. I'm going to divide it by 6. You can use your calculator for that. It's going to be 36. So it's going to be 6 times 36. And now 36 I know is 6 times 6. And now I'm going to see how many times I have 6, 2, 3, 4 times. So the number 1296 is going to be 6 to the exponent 4, because you're multiplying 4 times 6, 6, 6, 6, 4 times. So that's why it's to the 4th. And then this is how my equation looks like. It's a 6 with exponent x squared plus 3x equals 6 with exponent 4, right? Now I get the same basis, so I'm going to cross out the 6. So this 6 disappeared, this 6 disappeared. I need to solve x squared plus 3x equals 4. We're solving the exponents equal to each other. Now, this is quadratic equation. So what you have to do is move everything in the same side to be equal 0, and then get your ABC and solve it. So I'm going to subtract 4 in both sides to move it over, because I need it to equal to 0, and I'm going to get x squared plus 3x minus 4 equals 0, and then after that I'm going to get ABC. So a is in front of x squared, so a is 1, B is 3 and C is -4, and then you press in your calculator second and cosine, and then plug ABC, and then when you go to solve, press enter, and you're gonna get x equals 1 and -4 is x2. So you're gonna get two solutions because it's a quadratic, always have two solutions, and the answers are 1 and -4, and put them like this with comma separate list. That's what it says. So you have comma separate list, you have more than one solution only if it's quadratic. If it's linear, you're gonna get only one solution. And this pretty much concludes your lab. So this was the last question. You don't need to submit anything. Every question, if you submit, you're gonna be good. Now, when you're done, make sure you go in the top. Make sure double check your grade. You should have this number in your lab 4. Okay. So this is what you have for lab 4. Make sure you finish this, and if you're done, go ahead and do your quiz 4. Work ahead. Don't get behind. Right? Remember that. Okay. Have a wonderful day, and that's for me for today.